that smoking cigarettes is terrible for our health, both short-term and long-term.
We could attempt to shock you with statistics like how many people die from smoking every year, or how many years smoking takes off your life.
But what's the point? You know that already.
Instead, this video is about what you don't know about smoking and using tobacco.
Because what you don't know really can hurt you. We'll also hear from two doctors who have seen the devastating effects of tobacco firsthand. Dr. Jonathan Whiteson, a cardiopulmonary specialist,
And Dr. Shobhana Gupta, a physician scientist in neurology.
Okay, let's get started. While you're watching, be sure to keep track of how many of these facts you already know and which information is brand new.
Today's cigarettes are more toxic and disease-causing than the cigarettes your grandparents may have smoked.
Cigarettes today, unlike cigarettes of the past, have ventilated filters and chemically altered tobacco, making them even more harmful and even more deadly than earlier cigarettes.
Ventilated filters were originally developed to try to restrict the amount of toxins like tar from smoking that is inhaled with each puff. But what ends up happening with these ventilated filters is that the nicotine delivery is also diluted, and so to compensate for that, smokers try to take deeper and longer puffs and they smoke more frequently. And this low-dose, high-frequency behavior actually has a reinforcing effect and in fact leads to higher rates of addiction in smokers.
So smokers aren't getting the fix they need from one cigarette, leading them to smoke more and more.
Smoking more cigarettes leads to buying more packs, which means big money for big tobacco.
In addition, these filters do not block the bad chemicals in cigarette smoke.
They only block the biggest tar particles, while letting the smaller bits travel deeper into your lungs where they can cause serious damage.
The tobacco industry is a science, and they continue to study the most effective way to deliver nicotine to the body, because if they can deliver nicotine effectively, they can much more rapidly get you addicted to the cigarette.
So the structure of today's cigarette is very different from its predecessors. But even the tobacco crop is different than it used to be.
Tobacco farmers use a slew of fertilizers and insecticides that make the product more carcinogenic and dangerous.
Nicotine is the reason people become addicted to cigarettes.
Nicotine is a powerful chemical compound and the main ingredient of tobacco.
Nicotine is as addictive as cocaine and heroin and tremendously difficult to come off and withdraw from. Part of the reason is nicotine is so much cheaper and so much more available. It affects the same centers within the brain, the dopamine releasing centers within the brain that produce a great sense of satisfaction and relief and